Welcome back, everyone. Today is a really special episode for me because I get to introduce someone who has been part of Gripdough's journey in the most unexpected and delightful way. Abby started out with a simple, curious question: how does the stock market work? And that spark has now turned into this full blown fire within a year, and I'm not exaggerating. She's gone from curiosity to becoming an active investor in both the US and Indian markets. She's one of the most proactive learners I've met, always researching, always asking questions, always trying to understand the why behind every chart, every company, every trend. And now she's officially our Gripdough intern. But what I love most is that her passion doesn't stop with her own investing. Abby wants to empower other teens and kids too. She's combining her interest in game design with finance. She's been shadowing me in classes so that one day she can take over training the next generation of teen investors. And honestly, she's absolutely suited for it. Mentoring her has been eye opening for me as well. I have realized that young people don't actually need us to handhold every step, they just need the right tools and the space to explore. When something truly interests them, even the most disinterested teen suddenly becomes laser focused and full of passion. As parents, educators, and mentors, our job isn't to spoon feed whatever the national curriculum dictates. It's to help them discover where that spark is hidden. Once they find it, they shine, and they shine very, very bright. So today, I'm excited for all of you to hear from Abby, her journey, her perspective, and her wisdom as a teen investor, and why she believes money education should start way earlier than we think. Let's dive in. Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Thank you for joining today. So
Thank you for having me.
let's start right at the beginning. So, can you tell me what's the first time you remember hearing about money or finance, and what made you so curious that you actually wanted to learn more about investing?
Well, the first time that I can remember in like my memory right now is when I was younger. I remember going to Toys R Us with my parents, and
Mm,
I saw this doll that I really loved and I wanted to buy it so badly. But my parents had told me, "No, you can't get it. You have so many dolls just like that at
yeah,
home. Why do
yeah.
you need another one?" And they told me that they needed to save their money with and not buy me another doll. So that was the first time that I learned about the concept of saving money.
Mm,
And then when I learned about investing, that was during COVID because I remember my
yeah.
dad, he had stocks and he was investing in the company that he was working for, which was
Mm,
Boston Scientific.
mm,
And I remember one day he was just so frustrated, him and my mom, because the stock had dropped so much and they
yeah,
were trying to find the perfect time to pull out of the
yeah.
stock,
Mm,
but it was just going down. And that
um,
was kind of what sparked my interest because I was like, oh, what is this thing that's making them so upset? And like, why is it such an important thing? And I also
mhm,
hear it in my everyday life. My
mm,
dad, he works a lot on his own business,
mm,
and my parents, they like to invest a lot in stocks because they're looking towards the future.
mm.
And that kind of got me interested because I was like, oh my gosh, there's this totally new way to make money
Money,
through
yeah.
investing online. I was like, wow. So that sparked my interest at first. Yeah,
That's
on
wonderful.
investing.
It's like you look at your family, you see them doing, and then automatically
Mhm.
you are like, I have to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So it's I also understand that when we grew up, money was a whole different thing. It was very simple. Investments were like stuff that bank managers and fund managers did, but now it's available to everyone. So I'm curious if you can tell us how your generation sees money. Does it come with a lot of pressure, or do you think, oh, we have a lot of opportunities to make more money?
I definitely think that now more teenagers today, they feel that there's more of an opportunity around money because
Mm,
I don't know if you know, but a lot of teenagers, they're consumers.
Yes.
And the more that they see how much items that they want cost, I feel
Mm,
like the more they try to find other items in place of that because they want to save money. They
yeah.
know the value of the products and they know that, oh, if it's $20 for a lip gloss, that's way
Mm,
too much. And
mm,
I want to find a cheaper option, but also that is good quality for that. But I also feel like sometimes there are some teenagers that do feel pressure with money who are taking care of their own money. Like maybe their parents are putting them on a budget. And I know that one of my friends, her
mm.
parents give her, I think it's $300 to spend on food a month. So she needs to make sure that she knows how to
It is.
put that, like, find the specific foods to buy
Yeah.
that help her save her money.
And
Yeah.
it's wonderful that you can already teenagers and kids your age can think, what is this worth? What is this product worth? Am I spending too much on it, or am I, or is it too little? Because that is how we research companies. It's,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
valuation. So it's it's amazing that you are already doing the financial literacy, but in your own way, in your own personal thing. So
Mhm.
we have been working together for more than a year. So
Yeah.
I want to understand a moment that made you feel, oh wow, I actually understand this concept now. That real click moment.
That was definitely during one of my first few classes with you, Miss Gita. I remember you teaching me about the candlesticks and
Yeah.
showing me that illustration of what each candlestick means. And I'm a really visual learner, so I feel
Mm,
like that interested me a lot because at first I didn't really understand how to look at a market graph because I
mm,
mean it was all these lines going up and down and that was so confusing to me. But
yeah.
then you taught me about the candlestick method and just looking at the end, and then I was able to understand the support and the resistance zones, and I also understood the bullish and bearish markets. And I feel like
Mm,
once I understood all of that, I was like, oh my gosh, all of this is just another whole pattern of
yes.
these stocks. All of these stocks just have this pattern that you have to follow. And
Exactly.
at first I was thinking, oh my gosh, investing is so hard, and yes, it is hard, but it's also not that complicated
Yeah.
because once you understand these certain parts, then that
Mm.
just helped me so much to just
Yeah, and
keep on
it's
going.
it's
Oh, I
all
get it.
like a game in the sense you just have to know the rules of the game, and once you know it, you're in. It's just that sometimes I feel like the literature that's available is not.
Yeah.
That's why I, in my classes, I try to de-jargonize everything, because the literature that we see on in courses and other internet and stuff, it's too much of jargon, and somehow
Yeah.
they want to make the game really hard. So we
Yeah.
look at real companies, real charts, real news, their balance sheets, and all that. So is there something that surprised you about how markets or investing really works? Is there something that goes, oh, this is how it goes?
I mean, it was definitely when you told me about the candlesticks, but another thing was when I was doing all my research for what stocks that I wanted to invest in
Mm,
India,
mm,
and I remember the finance stock, Bajaj Finance, that one
yes.
we were never even thinking of at
Yeah.
first, but I just realized that there's so many resources out there on the internet that you can just access so easily and
Mm,
find, and it helps so much in my opinion to research because
mm,
obviously you want to know the value, you want to know the morals of the stock that you're choosing.
mm.
And I feel like that's a big part in investing.
Yeah,
And that
and it's
definitely, yeah,
wonderful that we these days we have access to them. I remember when
yeah,
I started investing, I had to like manually print out everything and look at the financial statements. But
yeah,
these days we have AI tools, we have everything on the internet. It's just that someone has to connect the dots and give us that path, like, after this you do this and that. So that is definitely a game changer. And now comes my favorite part, which is the future. You're already helping with the classes, so you often talk about game design, and we discuss a lot about how to create the curriculum for the teens and kids. So I want to ask, do you see yourself teaching other teens someday, your friends or kids younger than you? Why does that feel important to you?
I'm definitely doing that. I want to teach, and I hopefully soon, sometime in December maybe, it'll
Yeah,
come up. Yeah.
I'm
I
sure it
I feel
will.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like well, I wanted to teach financial literacy, especially to teens and kids because for teens, I already have that bond with them obviously because we're the same age and I feel like it's more like what I want to do because I know that there's
Mm,
lots of teenagers out there that don't have
yeah.
financial literacy knowledge on
Mm,
anything. And I feel like everyone should have at least a little bit of knowledge on financial literacy and even investing if they want to.
yeah.
Like maybe find something new. I found my passion in financial
Mm,
literacy and investing, and maybe someone who's never learned about it, once they learn about it, they'll also share that passion with me.
yeah.
And I mean, for kids, they're so little, and I have 2 siblings
Yeah.
who are younger than me, and I feel like with them knowing having that knowledge, like, my siblings, I feel like they do have financial literacy knowledge
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and,
You
I
just have
mean,
to
it's
shape
just
them.
so yeah, exactly, and teenagers sometimes I know as a teenager, they don't listen to adults all the time, you know? They're like, "Oh, this is just a boring adult, like, why would I listen to them?" So maybe if it comes from a teenager who's their
Yeah.
peer, like, it'll come across even more like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
and I think you can make it more relatable to them. Like,
Yeah.
you are the first teenager I ever taught, but I found that you have this ability to cut through noise and really understand what your goals are, what you want to invest in, what your risk appetite is. And that is a key life skill, I would say, not just for money or financial well being. Even in your real life, you can see your decisions would follow something in the same line. And you were
Yeah,
already
exactly.
able to cut through all that noise and reach that part where you could
Mhm.
clearly think about who I am, where do I want to be, and how do I bridge that gap. And I'm sure there are a lot of teenagers who are in that similar place where you were a year or two
Yeah.
ago, and they are simply waiting for you to take the class.
Yeah.
So, as you know, Gripdough, we also are very passionate about inclusion. Like, we've done a whole set of podcasts, and we have some more coming as well for women, teens, and neurodiverse kids. Because, in my opinion, they are like the underserved community. When the world
Mhm.
talks finance and investing, these are the set of people who are left out of it, like they are not even considered to be part of the holy circle. So from your perspective, I know you did like a podcast on that earlier, so how do you think we can make finance more inclusive and less intimidating for younger people?
I mean, like you said, they're the underserved community more. And I feel like one of the main things would be making education for financial literacy more accessible to them and
Mm,
also more of a norm for them to know because
mm,
I think there's many neurodiverse kids who don't learn about this and once they
yeah.
grow up they're not going to know much about this and they might not always have their parents with them to guide
True.
them through life with
Mm,
money wise and that's why education should be very really accessible for them for financial literacy and that should be offered at schools which is a big
yes.
thing that I advocate for and I think of that it should be
Mhm.
accessible at schools and it should even just be accessible at any like community. I mean, I know that at my in my neighborhood right now we have a community
Mm,
um school where you
mm,
can just take lessons for free and I feel like if
nice.
someone offered maybe me in the future I
Yeah,
can
you can
offer
volunteer.
classes for
Yeah.
women children like neurodiverse kids and even for teens as well and
Yeah.
I feel like for every person there should be a baseline for
Mm,
them like of understanding for
true.
financial literacy because that'll help them become more successful in life. It'll also help make the world a better place because you see all these homeless people or people in
Yeah.
poverty and that's all just because of them not having access to any financial literacy
Mm,
education.
that's true. Like we were just
Yeah.
discussing a few minutes ago, it's one thing to earn money. Everyone earns money and everyone has the
Yeah.
capacity to earn money. But once you've earned that money, managing money is a totally different skill set. And if we can just start early, even the simplest thing, would make a lot of difference. So I do believe in that, and I really hope that you can do those classes in the community
Yeah.
center, and I'm super excited. So, like, let's talk about the elephant on every teen's phone, which is the social media. I do see that influences and what you call the trends
Yeah.
shaping how teens look at money and spending, mostly not in a good way. It is not looking healthy. So what do you feel when you see people your age posting, lifestyle content online, all the luxury items, or even the trendy items like the Starbucks cup or whatever?
Yeah, the bear cup.
Yeah, the bear cub. So does it motivate you, or does it pressure you, or annoy you, or something else entirely?
Well, I definitely get shocked when I go on the internet and I see the people my age and
Yeah.
the amount of overconsumption that they do.
True.
And it's like, I know that on social media, most of the things that people post is
Mm.
overconsumption because that's
Yeah.
what people like to see. It's like,
See.
oh, they're so rich. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
of course they're going to post that. But
Yeah.
that's so unrealistic when you think
True.
about it because I understand that a lot of people my age, the overconsumption that they do is because of these influencers, because they
Mm.
want to follow these trends. They want to fit in. Maybe people are talking about it at school and it's just a
Yeah.
craze that they want to follow as
Mm.
well, but they don't need these items like all the time. They don't need all of this, only if they really enjoy
Enjoy.
having this or
Yeah.
really want it. Yeah. And I don't think all teenagers are like this. It's
Mm-hmm.
most teenagers that are online that you see on the internet that are like this. But for example, the craze around the Starbucks Bear Cup, when I
Mm.
was on YouTube, I saw this girl. She was a teenager and she was doing a tutorial on how to make your own Starbucks Bear Cup without
That's
having to pay
brilliant.
like $35 for a
That's
plastic bear
brilliant.
cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just got a one of the honey bears, like
The
how
bear. Yeah.
you get honey and then they have the bear cup. Yeah, you can just take that all the honey out, store it somewhere else, and then she just
Mm.
put like a paper hat on it and then you can still drink from it. It's the
Yeah.
same function
It's the
and
same
it's
thing.
much cheaper. It's the same thing
Yeah.
I talked about when it's people buying for quality but also buying for based on the value that they see that
Mm.
it costs. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of teenagers do that, which
Mm.
I I think is really
That is
good.
a relief to me because I don't have exposure to much teenagers, and I'm
Yeah.
really relieved that a regular teen doesn't think or do the way things are happening, because it's alarming. The overconsumption is not good for the planet. It's not good for your wallet, and
Mhm.
it's just a fad. It's a passing fad,
Yeah.
and I know we've discussed this so many times before, but I want to say it again here that I really believe that the biggest gap in young people prepare in how we prepare young people for money is that we teach them about money, but not how to think about money. That is the real skill set. Like how, like we discussed, investing is part money, it's part psychology. So it's not just savings or investing, it's choices, the risk appetite, it's your patience. Whenever the stock crashes, we
Yeah.
don't panic. You're all managing your emotions, the resilience. And I feel like money decisions are simply life decisions in disguise, like we were discussing a
Exactly.
few minutes
Yeah.
ago. And you have shown me that teens are absolutely capable of understanding this when given the right tools. And if we
Mhm.
can somehow nurture this, I feel like we will have a much better outcome for the upcoming generation who is
Yeah.
graduating into a god knows what economy. So we I really think that we have to work harder on this for teens, especially who
Yes.
will be becoming adults very soon. So Abby, I'm so proud of you. Watching your curiosity turn into confidence has been such a joy for me, and I know for a fact one day some other teen is going to say, I started learning finance because of Abby. To everyone listening, this is a reminder: when young people find something that genuinely interests them, they don't need pushing, they need space. tools, and trust. Abby,
We
thank
need
you for
mentorship. I got my mentorship from you, and that's how I learned all of
Oh,
this.
thank you so much. That's so kind of you. And thank you for joining me today. I know it's a very busy schedule for you. And thank you for being such a bright spark in the Gripdough family. All right, everyone, stay curious, stay kind, and don't forget to give your money some purpose. See you in the next episode.
Bye bye.
Thank you.